సరసీ జలముల నీ శ్రీపదముల అభిషేకించి ఆ అభిషిక్త జలం కనుల కత్తుకొని శిరముపై చిల్కరించుకొని నా తనువుపై చిల్కరించుకొని అమ్మా ఆత్మానందమయీ చిత్సుఖానంద సుధామయీ అమ్మా ఆత్మానందమయీ శిష్యవాత్సల్య సుధామయీ
My namaskarams to all meditation practitioners. There is nothing in this world we cannot achieve with intense regular practice. For example, you can achieve any knowledge you seek provided you spend all your effort in the right direction. There is no discipline in all of creation that we cannot achieve or acquire with intense regular practice. Our inability to achieve a thoughtless state and self-realization is only because we are only sitting with our eyes closed and not practicing meditation properly. Regular and proper practice is very important in meditation. To easily understand the value of regular practice, let me share a story of Lord Buddha. After attaining the state of self-realization through intense practice, Lord Buddha decides to share this path of meditation with others willing to practice along with him. He wanted to teach them how to attain self-realization through the practice of meditation. To convey this message, Lord Buddha started off on his journey. Along the way, through a dense forest, while crossing a village, Lord Buddha encountered 4 young people. All of them were of the same age, from the same village. Yet the qualities of all the 4 people varied a lot. One appeared to be ignorant and lazy, tamasic guna. Another appeared to be indulgent, rajoguna. The third one was gentle, sattvic guna. And the fourth one appeared pure and saintly, Suddha Sattvic Guna. While Lord Buddha was resting under a tree, these 4 people went up to Lord Buddha and requested to be imparted with the wisdom required to achieve the state of true awareness. Lord Buddha was delighted and asked the 4 of them to sit nearby and starts imparting the divine knowledge. These people had no idea of the Lord's royal background and that he was the crown prince of a great emperor. Lord Buddha tells them, I was born in a palace to an emperor who brought me up in luxury. I never knew about the seasons, summer's heat, rainy dampness, or winter's biting cold. As my father, the emperor, always arranged for every season to be in equipoise and comfortable for me within the palace. Until I started practicing meditation, I did not even know about Amavasya, no moon night. For 5 days before, for 5 days after Amavasya, my father would lighten the palace in such a way I did not realize about the darkness of the night. The constant self talk casts uneasiness in me, urging me to explore, to seek, to find answers. My heart would say, you have to know about things you do not know, and there is something more beyond. Search for it and go out in all directions. But all my external explorations brought more questions than answers. The world outside was drenched in grief and suffering, unlike the world I knew in my palace. This curiosity to know urged me to explore and seek out, and I discovered the journey to the within through meditation. After imparting this knowledge to the four of them, the Lord left for Sri Lanka. After many years later, Lord Buddha came back to the village and found that the one who was ignorant and lazy used to practice meditation only once a month. He had spent his time eating, sleeping, and lazying around. He had not accomplished much in life. Being a person with the qualities of tamasic guna, his practice was not diligent. Towards the later stages of his life, his children too did not take care of him for what little he did for them. They treated him with contempt and offered him food only as a sense of duty. He was always dull and seldom took any effort, physically nor spiritually. This was the reason for his lack of growth. Hence, whenever the tamasic guna or laziness enters our lives, we have to introspect and take corrective action. The second person, who was indulgent, Rajoguna, worked hard but was always self-conceited. He nurtured the feeling that he was the cause of everything that was happening in the village. He celebrated his success, attributing it to his own efforts. He went about taking ownership of everything he earned, won, or achieved. He spoke highly of his earnings, accomplishments, and progress. Although he had earned so much, he was always restless. In his later years, he was concerned how his children would be able to sustain and increase his hard-earned money properly. He wondered, will my grandson spend it properly? After I am gone, what will happen to this heritage and the inheritance I am leaving behind? Will they take care of all this? Can they keep it organized? He feared someone might take it away from them. With a state of restlessness, he could not practice meditation regularly and sincerely, due to which he could not gain as much spiritual progress as he could have. The third person, who was sober, Sattvic Guna, had progressed in his practice but was not yet liberated. A person with Sattvic Guna has the ability to introspect. They are conscious and think before they do anything wrong. They practice as much meditation as they can while carrying out their responsibilities sincerely. They are inclined to achieve the state of moksha, but they are unable to completely commit themselves to achieve it. The fourth person with pure sattvic guna not only fulfill their duties unto themselves but are also useful unto others. They always think of what purpose is the gift of life that cannot be of use to another. They not only help themselves but are also helpful and dutiful towards others. Thus, we must realize that our birth is purposeful and should uplift the souls of at least 10 others. Our lives are not just for growing alone, but helping others grow along also. Due to this noble nature and through his sincere practice, the fourth person had achieved self-realization. All four of them go along with other villagers to see Lord Buddha. The person with pure sattvic quality finds no words when he looks at the Lord and tears roll down his cheeks. He did not say anything and attentively and silently absorbed whatever Lord Buddha was preaching. Likewise, the person with sattvic qualities comes and tells Lord Buddha about his practice and dutifulness, wherein Buddha advises him to increase his practice of meditation and introspection. Then the Rajas Guna person says to Buddha, Swami, I am unable to do anything. What should I do? He says, every second feel disturbed. I have wasted several years. Bless me by touching my head so that at least in my last days I would gain some spiritual progress. Lord Buddha says, I have imparted the same knowledge to all four of you at the same time. You are from the same village, of the same age, equally able to gain liberation. What you seek cannot be given. You cannot buy it with money. It cannot be achieved by just listening to it. You can achieve it only through intense, regular practice. I have achieved it only through the practice of meditation. I can only tell you how I have achieved liberation, but I cannot gift you the practice of meditation. You are responsible for your upliftment. And uplifting anyone without their own effort is to act against the laws of nature. If you start practicing meditation from now on, at least in your next life, you will be able to practice meditation right from your childhood, like Bhakta Prahlada. You still have not lost time. At least now you can start your practice all over again, said Lord Buddha to him. To the person with the tamas guna, Lord Buddha spoke thus, if you continue to be ignorant and lazy, then for your next 10 lives, you will not be able to achieve much. Buddha tells him to give up his tamas guna from that very day. In order for us to understand the deeper meaning of this story, we can see these four qualities in the Ramayana characters we are familiar with. Tamas quality in Kumbhakarna. What does Kumbhakarna do? Eats and sleeps. Rajas quality in Ravana. Pleasure seeking. Sattva quality in Vibhishana. Dutiful and inclined to righteousness. Pure sattvic quality in Anjaneya. Responsibility, humility, righteousness and discipline. We all have the choice to leave the tamasic and rajoguna which are within us, and through the practice of Sushumna Kriya Yoga regularly, every day, develop the pure sattvic guna. Only then we can uplift our soul and be able to help everyone. So, intense and regular practice is very important to each and every one of us. Om Sushumna.